YouTube? Matt M. Roy back once again. Back to you with the unboxing of this Pony DashCam. I picked this up from my local thrift store a couple of days ago. As you can see, I paid $14.98 for it. And right under that, I love the way they write this, says, "Don't leave home without it." And then the same thing looks like written in Spanish, "Your personal witness." Looking at the top here, you can see it's called the Original DashCam, Simply the Best. What I find really cool is the letters are actually raised off the box, so I can tell it's a fairly decent quality. Here's some of the features. It has anti-shake, motion detect, which means the camera will only turn on when it sees motion. What it'll do is it'll actually stop recording if it doesn't see anything moving, and then once you start again, it'll start up and put it in a separate file. I do like that feature because right now I only have an 8 GB card in here, and I definitely need the extra space, and I don't really want it recording, you know, when I'm not really driving. Built-in G sensor, USB out, so you can go ahead and view this on a TV. It has a 12 megapixel still picture mode, which I haven't tried out yet. Up to 32 gigabyte memory card, so you can put a 32 gigabyte memory card in this. This uses the very typical micro SD cards. And seamless recording, which means you can probably go from one file to the other and it'll look like it's one. Very easy to manipulate. I've actually taken a few videos with this, and I'll attach one of those to the end of this. Definitely, so you guys can see the quality. 1.5-inch screen, Silic record. I'm not sure what that is. Low light. This actually has LEDs on it, so if you're trying to film at night, it'll actually illuminate fairly decently. Again, I haven't tried it at night, but I've read good things about it, that it does film pretty well under very low light conditions. Wide-angle lens, 120 inch, which is basically like what my GoPro does. We have auto on and off, and then screen turn off. And then this is a full HD 1080p recording capabilities. That's 1080p 30 frames per second, though. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at it. Very hard to do one-handed, as usual. Alright. First thing we have in here is the receipt, and I did pay $16. Then we get to the booklet, which has never been opened before. It's still got the tape on it. Go ahead and put that to the side for a minute. Right here is the dash cam itself, and as you can see, it absolutely has not been used because it still has the film on the screen, which I will take off really quick so we can turn it on and see what we're doing. On the front here you have your various buttons. You have the 2 arrow keys for selecting through the menus. This is not touch screen. This right here is like your changing from one menu to another. The select button, the button that gets you the menu, and then the power button. On the side here you have the 8 GB micro SD card in the slot right there. I'm not going to take that out because it's very hard to get back in. This right here is for mounting it to the suction cup, which I will show you guys in just a minute. These are the 2 LEDs for illuminating at nighttime. This is of course, the lens. On the bottom here you can see it says Pony item number 4SK106C, and these still sell on Amazon for around $70. On this side you have the USB port for charging and also for downloading your recordings to your computer. Go ahead and look in here. This right here is the mini USB to regular USB cable for, again, this is for data transfers, for taking your videos and putting it onto your computer. Next we have a very, very long car charger. This is your 12-volt cigarette adapter to, once again, mini USB, because that's what this uses for pretty much everything. This down here is the adapter for the micro SD card. So you can, instead of hooking it up to your computer using the cable, you can actually put the micro SD card in this adapter and then put it in a memory card reader. This right here is your dash mount. So basically, you put this on your dash. It's got a little bit of adhesive on the bottom, and then you can actually use the suction cup mount, which can go on the windshield, or you can actually suction cup it to this, and then the camera would sit just like that. And that is pretty much it for the box. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the bottom real quick. You can pause the video if you want to read that and get the information. This is the website where you can actually order these, and they are still available if you don't want to get them from Amazon. And I'll just quickly show you the accessories that come with it. Again, it's the dash cam, the mount with dash plate, the car charger, the USB cable, and the SD card and the adapter. So everything came with this camera, and I'm very, very pleased so far. Go ahead and turn it on real quick. I'll go ahead and turn the light off. There we go. And as you can see, it immediately comes to the video mode. Right now it is in the 1080p full HD mode, and it does start recording. You can actually see that I'm recording right now. So as soon as you turn on, the recording starts, which is again a really nice feature, because if you have this hung up in your car and you forget to push that record button, well, then it's pretty much useless, isn't it? I'm going to go ahead and stop it recording. You just hit OK to do that. And we'll go into some of the menu features. You can see right here, the first option is to adjust the resolution, if my camera will focus there. Next is loop recording. Again, I'm not exactly sure what that is. I think that has to do with it continuously recording. I think that works with a motion detection. So basically, once it sees something, it'll record, and then once the movement stops, it'll stop, and it'll go ahead and start recording again when it sees something else, and it makes it kind of like an endless loop. EV mode. What else we got here? This one is audio setup. Basically, this is just a mono microphone in there, nothing super special. Again, this is not going to be for recording vlogs and things. This is mainly for protection when you're on the road. Date stamp puts the time and date on the video, so if you do need it for evidence, they have that. They know that it happened when you said it happened. The G sensor. We have the button sound. That's basically the sound you hear when I move down on the menu. And that's about it for the basic settings. Now if you get into the initial settings, you have set date and time, the auto power off, which is a nice feature, saves on battery, language, light frequency, so you can adjust the settings for the different lighting conditions. Down here we have the screensaver. The light set, which basically turns the LEDs on and off for recording at night. Image rotate, which is kind of self-explanatory. And the format, which basically will format the card so you can record over what you've done so far. Then you have a default setting button and firmware version. Basically, to upgrade the firmware in this, you'd have to hook it up to the computer, but as far as I know, I'll probably double check later, I believe this has the latest version of the firmware for this particular device. If you see up here, again, it says the original dash cam. Let's go ahead and take a look at the user's manual real quick. Alright, now this is the user manual for this particular dash cam. As you can see, the one side is in Spanish. Of course, today we are going to be looking at the English side of things. First page here basically tells you how to charge it. It says that you need to charge it for 6 hours before using it, and I did do that. The one thing I will say is the battery life on this is absolutely terrible. You only get about an hour's worth of battery life. Now, I don't know if that's because this was old stock and the battery's just degraded, But I really don't care anyway, because whenever I'm going to be using this in the car, I'm of course going to have it plugged into the AC or the DC power anyway, so battery in this is kind of useless in my opinion. Alright, let's see. This is just basically telling you all the different modes, showing you how to navigate the menu, different things like that. Nothing too interesting here. I was hoping they'd have some pictures in here to show you guys. This tells you the different resolutions. Again, this does 1080p full HD, which is 1920 by 1080. You also have 1080p in the 1440 by 1080 mode. That is a 4:3, not a widescreen resolution. You can also do 1280 by 720, which is, of course, 720p. WVGA, which is a little bit higher. It's like an enhanced VGA resolution. You can do the regular VGA, which is 640 by 480. And this actually goes all the way down to QVGA, which is 320 by 240. And you really only want to use that if you're worried about getting a lot of recording time. QVGA, it would be almost unrecognizable. On a modern day monitor, it would be so grainy you probably wouldn't be able to make any details out at all. And let's see what else we got. Motion detection, audio, pretty much everything I went over before. One thing I will say, for this camera, you want to keep it in 1080 full HD. Anything less than that, because I tried doing some recordings at 1080p, the regular one, not the full HD, and the quality wasn't that great. But like I said, as long as you keep it on full HD, you'll get a decent result. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and end this here, because I think I don't want to get too long-winded, but this was a review of the Pony dash cam that I picked up at the thrift store the other day. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Please remember to like and subscribe. And as always, have a blessed day, everybody.